Hi, good evening, everyone. Welcome to this week's Traders Club session. My name is Gerald. All right, so today STI closed down and it did something very critical, right? It has broken the support of around 2478. Now, this level is a level we have been talking about, right? To closely watch it, right? Because there's been support, right? And it's a support since this gap up in April. Yeah, it's been holding on for many months, right? And even in this downtrend period in the July, August, and now September, it was still able to hold up. Okay, so we are saying, yeah, watch out for this, and if it breaks, then there could be this downtrend continuing for STI. So, which is not very good news. As far as the bulls are concerned, it's not good news. And if you look at the US stocks, they've also broken some key moving average support as well. Yeah, so the market is becoming more and more bearish. Yeah, so in today's session, I'll still talk about some stocks that you can look at to buy. Yeah, basically there are some of those defensive stock, REIT stocks. Yeah, but I think I also would be covering stocks that you'll be looking to short. Yeah, I know some of you may be reluctant to do shorting. Yeah, but I think as the market sentiment continue to be bearish, more and more shorting opportunities are presenting itself. So I'll just highlight them. Yeah, for those who are keen on that. Yeah. Okay, so back to STI. So as we can see, STI has today cleared the 2478 level. So the next obvious support, right, will be the small little gap here, right, also formed in around March, tested in April. So this gap is between 2370 and 2380. So that is the horizontal support. So we are quite a distance away. Yeah. Now, of course, I'm not saying that STI will be crashing immediately towards the level. You could still see some bounce. Yeah, but as long as the 20 MA and the 50 MA remains in this direction and in this formation, it's a matter of time. STI is going to reach this support level, and hopefully you hold on. If not, then we're going to go see it go down all the way to the time where the COVID crash level was. Yeah, back then in March. Okay. All right. So yeah. So this STI. So let's look at the individual stocks. So let me just quickly go through the small handful of stocks where you could still look at to long. All right. Okay. First one is ARA Logistics. I think we did mention this last week. Yeah, the signal was there. So just to point out that the signal is still there. My point is the entry price is still not hit yet. Yeah, so the signal was here. As you can see the green bar over here. Yeah, so the entry price of 64.5 cents has not been reached. Yeah, so which means you still be able to trade it if it's able to come up to 64.5 cents. All right. Now our original stop loss was placed at 61 cents. All right, which is fine. Okay, so you can use that as the same entry and same exit price level. Okay, one thing to note is what if the price doesn't hit 64.5 cents and it just continue to trade lower and lower? How long do we need to wait? Okay, so I think the rule of thumb here is if you set the stop loss at 61 cents, if at any point in time the price came down to 61 cents without ever going to 64.5, then I think that's where we can ignore this signal, ignore this stock already. Yeah, we don't need to monitor it going forward. Because the fact that it can come to 61 cents basically means the 20 and 50 MA support, right, that we are hoping it can hold, right, is not holding anymore. Yeah, so if the price ever were to come down to 61 cents without ever hitting the 64.5, so we can totally ignore this stock from then on. Yeah, but for now, it's still valid. So you could still be looking at 64.5 cents as the confirmation price to take the trade. Okay, so if it's able to hit 64.5, cut loss 61 cents. So it's less than 5%, right? Less than 5% of risk. Okay, the next one is that you can look at to long is Ascendus I Trust. Okay, so this is Ascendus I Trust. Right, so the signal is today. Okay, so you can see the 20 MA is above the 50 MA. The price is at the support. Okay, so you can see the MACD. Yeah, zooming in so you can see the MACD, 4 red, and then there's a green today. Okay, so what will happen is you got to set the market's confirmation price. So you got to find the entry price. So the high of today, the green day, the signal day, right? So the high is $1.35. So you need at least 136. Okay, so you need the price to reach at least 136 to put on that trade. Okay, cut loss, you can set it below the 50 MA, so you can set it at 130. Right? That's fine. Can give it a few bits, right? Not too near, not exactly on the 50 MA, right? Can give it at least 1 bit, right? Or give 2 bits. Okay, so you're still well within the 10% cut loss range. Okay, so there is a Ascender's I trust. Look at 136 as the market's confirmation. So that's the entry price. Okay, another trust will be CDL, H trust. All right, so this is CDL H trust. Turn uptrend 20 above 50 MA, the price came down. Yeah, so now look at this. So this is where you will have the signal. Okay, so what happened is, okay, let me just zoom in. So assume you're looking at on this day, right? This was last week, right? So the signal day is on this day. The high is $1.10. So you're looking for entry if is able to hit $1.11, isn't it? Okay, so of course you can set your stop loss, or you can set it below the 50 MA. The 50 MA is about 1.02 cents. You can set 101 or even $1. All right. Now, so what happened is the price, can you see the subsequent days, it did not hit the entry price. It failed to hit the entry price. So you will not be taking the trade yet. All right. But as you can see, it's still at the support. The price is still hanging at this 20 and 50 MA support zone. And so you still be looking for it if it's able to come back up to $1.11. Okay. Yeah, but likewise, in the ARA logistic, if the price did not hit 111 and the price somehow trades lower and lower and go past $1, that will mean that this support is no longer valid. Yeah, then we will not need to monitor it anymore as a long opportunity, yeah, as a buying opportunity. Okay, so I repeat, the signal remains. The entry price will be at 111. Cut loss you can set at $1. All right, but if the price doesn't hit 111 and subsequently it continues to fall lower to go past $1, then we will just take this out of the watch list, right? No longer valid. Okay, so it remains to be seen, right? So as of now, it is still at support level. Yeah, it's still at the 50 MA support level. Okay, next one, Maple Tree, North Asia. All right, so I think this is pretty similar. Okay, so there's a signal over here on the 17th of September. Okay, so you will have an entry price. Okay, the high is 94.5 cents. You could set it at 95 cents at least. All right, cut loss, of course, you can set it below the 50 MA. Yeah, so you can set beneath the 50 MA. Okay, so if you were to hit 95 cents, that will be the trade. Okay, but as you see, it did not hit the entry price at all, and the price came down. If you were to go lower, then we will not be looking at this stock anymore. Yeah, but now it's still finding support. Yeah, so if it's able to go up to 95 cents, then that will be a valid trade. So if it's able to go up to 95 cents, then yes, there'll be a trade. But if that doesn't happen, right? So if this doesn't happen, right, and instead the price starts to come down, right? That's what we discussed in ARA Logistics and CDL Trust. The price indeed come down to this intended stop loss price level, then the support is no longer holding, which means the uptrend is more likely unable to continue. So no point going long. It means the stock is turning bearish. Yeah, it's weakening and turning bearish. Okay, so that's the idea of waiting for the market's confirmation and knowing when to stop monitoring the stock. Okay, one more, Sabana REIT. This is something we discussed previously as well. All right, so as you can see, the example is still there, waiting for it to hit 38.5 cents. So guess what? It has not hit yet. All right, so where was the signal? The signal was actually over here, isn't it? Yeah, so we're waiting for 38.5 cents to hit, but it did not, and it has not hit 38.5 cents yet. So now what happened is, of course, the stop loss there, 36 cents. Okay, but as you can see, the price hasn't come down to the 36 cents. If it had, then we will say the support is broken, stop looking at it. Yeah, ignore it, no longer interesting stock. Okay, but as it is still hanging here sideways, notice that it has now turned green again after a series of red. Okay, so of course you could set it as your entry price one bit above 38 cents. Okay, but I think like I mentioned previously, since this 38 cents has been tested so many times over here, I think you can let it ride up one more bit, right? Just let it break past that to go to 38.5 cents. Then that probably will give you a little bit more certainty on that trade. All right. Okay, so this is Savannah week. So you can still look at 38.5 cents. Your cut loss you can set as 36 cents. Yeah, pretty tight stop loss. Okay, so these are the stocks that you could look at to long. All right, but like I said, I think that the trend has now turned more and more to the bearish side. More and more stocks are becoming bearish. Yeah, I talked about that previously. So yeah, it's getting more and more to the downtrend. So I'm going to focus on some of the stocks that you can look at to short. All right. But if you're unfamiliar with shorting, I'll just go through. It's basically the opposite of long. Okay, so whatever you look at on how to go long is the same thing, just like we look at things the opposite way. Right? To go long, we look for uptrend, 20 MA above 50. So basically, shorting will be looking at the opposite, 50 above 20 MA. Yeah? Long, we look for support. We look for the price to come to the support. For shorting, we look for the price to same, come to the 20 and 50, but as a resistance. Okay, to go long, we look for 4 red, 1 green in MACD. To go short, we look for many green, 4 green at least, and then a red. Okay, then of course the confirmation, the price has to go lower, and then the stop loss we set above the 50 MA. Okay, then I'll give you an example. Right? Let's look at, say, CityDev. Right, so this is CityDev. That's why we're going to zoom in. Okay, so you can see step 1 is definitely downtrend. 20 is below 50 MA. Then you can see a lot of blue chip stocks, especially the STL component stocks. They have been like that for a while already. 20 MA below 50 MA. Yeah. Okay. So what happened here is, okay, as the price comes down, yeah, you're basically looking for many green and then a red. And so can I say that on this day, yesterday, right? You see that it's downtrend. The price is at the resistance. It's not that the price is trading below here. Yeah, the price is at the resistance. The price has come up and is unable to go further, and it shows a red MACD signal. Yeah, so that is basically your shorting signal already. Okay, then of course you need to set the entry price. Okay, so the low is $7.93. So you must wait for at least $7.92. Okay, the low is $7.93. You got to wait for at least $7.92. But as this is a $7 stock, you could give some buffer, right? To give a few more cents of buffer if you wish to, yeah. Because $7 stock, 1 cent may not be as much of a confirmation. Okay, for stop loss, you can set it above. So stop loss 50 MA is here. So the high is around 818. You can look at around 823, 820, up to 827, or 830 as well. Yeah, so that will be the stop loss. Okay, so if I were to look at today, right? Today is the day where, in fact, it has already triggered the confirmation to short. Yeah, so if anybody are shorting, today is the day where it triggered. All right. Okay, so your cut loss will be around 827 at least. All right. So that's CityDev. So yeah, you may miss it because you were not looking at shorting. Yeah. For those who are looking at it, yeah, this is the day. If not, then it has moved a bit. So probably those who have not short yet, look at other opportunities like SPH. SPH, I think for many months already, there had been, you see it's on the downtrend, right? And there are several opportunities since the beginning of the year, right? Shorting. Can you see each time? Notice each time it comes to the 20 MA, it get resisted, 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 right? So if I were to turn the chart upside down, it becomes a very strong uptrend stock to buy, isn't it? All right. So this is a downtrend stock. So for those who were looking at it to short, right? So where it was the opportunity to do so, right? So you can see over here. This is last week. Okay, so you can see here is a downtrend, and you see the price is now at the 20 and 50 MA resistance. So it was all green until this day when it turns red. Okay, so what do? You set the entry price. Okay, so the low is $1.06. So we're looking at least 105 cents to short. All right. So for this one, yeah, it has moved about 2-3 cents. Yeah, 2 cents. Yeah, so 2 bits. So basically, it has confirmed. All right. So right now it's testing this horizontal support 103. Right? It's not wrong to short there. Yeah, you could go a new low. So for those who are not in yet, if it's able to go lower tomorrow, yeah, you still be able to have the opportunity to short. Okay, the only concern is the stop loss, right? If you enter at 103, right, your stop loss at 116, that will be slightly more than 10%. All right, so in such cases, probably you want to either trade smaller or give this trade a pass. Okay, but that's how you could be looking at it. Stop loss. Okay, so I repeat the stop loss pattern. First, it must be downtrend, so 20 MA below the 50 MA. And the price must be at the resistance zone. Yeah, so it's between the 20 and 50 MA. And look out from the first candle that touches the 20 MA, look for at least 4 green. Okay, and then followed by red. So the red one will be the day that the signal manifests itself, and then you set the entry price, which is at least 1 bit below. All right, so in fact, SPH also was triggered today. Okay. Okay, next would be Genting. Genting. Right, so as you can see, Genting was also on a downtrend previously, and there had been previous signals before, but if you miss it, the opportunity is there again. Okay, so when was it? It was actually yesterday. So the bad news is, again, the signal has already occurred, but the good news is it hasn't hit the entry price yet. That's what I mean by that. Okay, look, the signal is here, right, yesterday. So the low is 67 cents. So if you want to short, you're basically looking at least 66.5 cents, at least, right? So you can set at 66, but 66.5 cents at least. Stop loss, you can set it above. All right. Okay. Now, so today it did try to come down, right? But by the time market closed, it went back up again. Yeah. So hasn't hit the confirmation price yet. But if it did, if it goes on to do it tomorrow or going forward, yeah, it is an opportunity to short Genting. Okay, so that is Genting. Next one to look at is Ascendus REIT. Well, it was on an uptrend, but I think the trend changes. You see, it was previously on a strong uptrend, and then it starts to break the support. Some of you may have hit cut loss as well, right? Or for this case, at this point in time, it didn't trigger the entry at all. So there's no stop loss at this high here. Okay, but it's turned downtrend, and most importantly, it has hit the resistance. Okay, and the red has appeared after at least 4 green. You see that? Okay, so the low would be 318. So you're looking at 317 at least for your shorting entry. Okay, and of course your cut loss, you can set it above the 50 MA. Okay, so Ascendus REIT has not happened yet, right? So the signal is there, just that it hasn't hit the market's confirmation price yet. So you can still be looking at to short if you have to go anywhere lower than 318. Yeah. Okay, so that is Ascendus REIT. Franken. Okay, so Franken previously was also on very good uptrend until the trend changes. So now it's on a downtrend, all right? And the signal was over here. Okay, so you can see on this day, if I have to zoom in more, see the MACD. Oops. Yeah, so there's a series of green followed by a red. Okay, so the low is 95 cents. You're basically looking at 94.5 cents at least, and then you can set your market's confirmation, your cut loss above here. Okay, so it has hit it this week, right? Yesterday, in fact, and today try again, but it hasn't moved much from the entry price yet. So which means you could still be looking at the short, right? If it still hangs around 94.5 cents or 94 cents. Yeah, so it still be a valid shopping stock to look at. Okay, so this is Franken. Okay, next would be Sri Trend Agro. Okay, so same thing, downtrend, it's uptrend, but it's turned down. Okay, so this is the signal. I can see on this day. Right, so this was yesterday. The low is $1.14. Okay, your cut loss will be, your entry will be $1.13 at least. Cut loss, you can set it above the 50 MA. Okay, today it peaked a little bit to the entry price, right? Came down a little bit, right, and hit 113. So if anybody were to short, today will have been the day. But by the time market close, it went back to 113 again. So if anybody want to continue and short it tomorrow, is able to stay at 113 or lower, it's a stock to look at to short. Okay, Sri Trend Agro. Okay, one more. If you're looking at big cap stocks, Jatin CNC. Yeah, also, like the STI, yeah. So all these blue chip stock, basically they have been on a downtrend much earlier. Okay, but if you are only looking at it now, it's presenting opportunities again, right, for shopping. So, okay, so look at it here. Downtrend, the price was at resistance. So at that point in time, when it comes to the resistance, 20-50 MA, notice that at this point in time, there's only 1, 2, 3 green. So there's no point looking for the red until on this day, yeah, Monday, yesterday, basically. Yeah, so you see this green 1, 2, 3, 4, you have 4 greens already. So if the red appears, then it'll be a stock to look at. Yeah, so which it happens over here, sorry. Yeah, so this is the green day, the red day, the signal day. The low is $18.06. So basically you're looking at least $18.05. But this is an $18 stock, so you can give it some buffer. Yeah, a few cents more of buffer. Cut loss, you can set it at the top. All right, so that will be for shorting. Okay, if you're looking at big cap stock, yeah, this you can short as well. Yeah, it's been on the downtrend together with STI. I mean, this is one of the main component stock as well, so it will definitely affect how STI trends. Okay, so I hope you'll be able to appreciate how to short. Basically, it's an adaptation from long. Let's say the logic is all inverse, right? It's the opposite. Okay, so for those of you who are trying for the first time, please make sure you have CFD account, right? If not, then you'll not be able to do naked shorting. That means you can't just sell on the cash market. You incur penalty if you hold it overnight. Whereas if you short using a CFD, or you have some share borrowing lending program arrangements with the broker, then you can short and hold on for as long as the market allows you to. The trend continues to go down. Okay, so that is shorting. I think it's going to be more and more stocks behaving like that based on the trend that we're looking at. All right, and even like I said, the US, right? The US market is also beginning to show signs of weaknesses in the uptrend. Look at this. Look at the same thing, 20 and 50 MA. Right, so when in May there was this 20 begin to go past the 50 MA. Right, can you see once it bounced from the support, right, it has been the 20-50 MA has been supporting it many times in June, July, right, and in fact almost August and September it was trying, but can you see yesterday it begins to break the support. Yeah, so all these are signs of weaknesses because the support is no longer as strong at those key levels. Okay, so be cautious on all this. All right. Okay, so if you have any questions, you can leave it in the comments below. All right, and if you like this video, you learned something from this, share with your friends and give it a thumbs up. All right, so if not, then I will see you again next week. Trade safely and have a good week.